So I think what we said originally, maybe we do need to give it just a few more minutes, is that we were just going to chat about how we got here, maybe reminisce a little bit about, actually tell the story about how it started, because it may be that some people maybe don't know that.
You think some people don't know what's going on? 143 days worth of bloody notifications. If anyone suggests they don't, I will ban lockdown and find where they live.
Well, we did save you actually, because at one point we were tagging you on every report.
Oh, you did.
Huh?
You did.
Yeah, but then we cut you out a little bit because I think you were getting some grief from some of your followers.
Didn't people think you were doing it, Scully?
We laughing at. I could easily do it. Not
Go
hard.
on then.
If Tiny did it, then it's not hard, is it? Do you know what I mean?
So sorry, Brian. You said you could do it. Is there something developing here?
I'll get to that yet. Let's there may be a deal to be had.
Oh, okay. So what do we think? Do we, maybe Lorna can advise us on a message. Should we talk about how it started?
I think we can start with that.
Yeah.
I think you've got what you got. It says that you've got about 15 people or so.
Do you think we have our international following yet, Vicky? We have lots of international followers.
All around the world, all across the country.
Okay, so who wants to start? Where are we going to start? Do you want?
I don't mind telling the original, I guess, because I guess it's started, and Piney, you can probably help me out by reminding me. I think it started on a bit of a I don't think we were too drunk. I think we had a couple, a trip to London.
Yeah.
I think we were seeing, it was probably Busted, McFly.
We saw McFly in November.
And so we'd met up. We were going to go to the concert, had a few drinks, and then we met Dad because he was in London working and he was on his way home. So we met Dad for a drink. And I think we just started talking, or Dad started talking about how he was, trying to find the, the get up and go to get going again, maybe. And,
I think I asked, I'm going to ask the question on everyone's lips. Are you going to walk this year?
Yeah.
And then that's when your dad kind of said about, I'm not sure if I've got the motivation to do it, or I'm not sure if I want to do it again this year. And then in my half-cut state, I'm not an alcoholic, by the way, just like came out with, if you do it, I'll do it with you. And then that's when you said about the target before was 142 days. So we said that if we're going to do it, we'll beat it, which is where the 143 days came in. And then Brian laughed and said, you're not going to do it. And bet us £100.
Simple as that, really, because in my mind at that stage, drink or no drink, it was beyond fathomable in my mind that Vicky Pine would be able to get up every day and do 10,000 steps every single day, especially when I know there'll be at least, I don't know, 5 to 10 weekends or nights out during that period of time, where, there'll be a few drinks involved, I'm sure. And I knew she had a couple of holidays, or she definitely had a hen party that was going to be in place during that time. So again, felt safe that there'd probably be a drunk night and she'd have to be sleeping for a day. So yeah, I thought my money was pretty safe. And I think I even started with 50 and went, make it 50 each, because I didn't really mind how much money. I could have gone more, to be fair. I was that confident. And actually, not to spoil anything out of here, I think there was follow-up conversations with Scully Senior about how do you think that Vicky is definitely going to do this? And I think the very first conversation was, oh, I don't know, I'm sure she will. And then a week later, suddenly his tone changed and was like, she's definitely going to do this. So there was clearly a conversation that took place between the two of you, conniving about how great it would be to take money off me, I assume. But yeah, so that was the original story. I guess, what about you two? Did you both actually think you would ever do it or get close or get past January?
So I remember probably like halfway through, I looked, so obviously your iPhone stores loads of data about walking and steps and stuff. So I think I looked like halfway through. So my average steps a day last year was about 3,500. So the day that we set this, I did walk 10,000 steps because we were in London that day. And I then didn't walk anywhere near 10,000 steps for the remainder of last year. And then obviously started it in January. And I think I kind of knew if I got through January and then February, I was quite confident that I would go until May. But I think I massively underestimated how hard it was. I remember that first walk on New Year's Day where I kind of like walked to work and back. So I kind of knew how many steps that would get me. And I was about 2,000 under where I thought I would be. So I just had to keep going and going and going and going. So yeah, I don't know if that's answered your question or not, but.
And Dad, what about you? Did you think you had it in you to go again? Or did you think Piney was going to do it all as well?
Well, for me, obviously, what I wanted was the motivation to do it. So you betting me £1 would have given me enough motivation to do it. I think you did actually say that the 50, it had to be both of us. So
yeah,
you wouldn't pay me 50 and not Vicky. And I have to say, I mean, I've supported and cheered and acted and messaged, but Vicky motivated herself. She was absolutely determined just to take that money off of you. That was, you know, she wasn't going to fail. And we had some challenges. Actually, we didn't know anything about coronavirus at that time.
Yeah.
How amazing is that?
Yeah.
That was not even discussed.
Yeah.
So, you know, for me, travelling, working, I do lots of crazy things. I get on the wrong end of the train. I get off of a train early. So I get my steps done. But from what, 22nd of March, I've been at home. So it's been tough, I think. Don't you agree, Vic? It's
yeah,
got
definitely.
more difficult. Yeah.
And I think even before coronavirus, if you think back to February when you had like, is it Storm Dennis? And then there was the next weekend, there was another storm that came in. Yeah. I remember like having to walk in the gym on a treadmill because I thought I can't go and walk outside because it's like torrential rain, really windy. So even before coronavirus came in, there was a few weekends that were super tough as well. But as your dad said, when we got put into lockdown, walking became 10 times harder because you had to do it all in one go. You weren't able to go out like 3 or 4 times a day and walk to work and back because we weren't going to work.
Actually, we were nervous, weren't we, about whether or not people would think that we shouldn't be doing it, that we should. Didn't we put a post out? And
yeah, I think we did. I think we asked because we didn't really know what was going to happen and we didn't know whether lockdown was going to be brought in more strict, where you weren't allowed out at all. And I think you're right. I think we put a post out to say, because we didn't also think if it was suitable for us to be writing these kind of, you know, posts about our days, when obviously there was this huge pandemic going on. Did people actually want to read it still? So I think we put a post out to say, should we carry on? And obviously pretty much everyone came back and said yes.
Yeah, it was massive. Just do it. Get on with it. Keep walking. Yeah.
Vicky, Asil Bartlett?
Lisa?
Lisa.
Yeah.
Lisa. It says in the days this girl turned up for work like a drowned rat, my heart went out to her. She walked through everything and had total motivation. She's strong and motivated as are you.
Oh, thanks, Lise.
Bless
Yeah.
her.
So even if it rained, it didn't matter. I could literally still put my coat on, tip my chain. I always like put my work clothes in my bag, and literally just turned up like a drowned rat. And then my clothes dried in the toilet for the day, and then I walked home again in the evening and normally got soaked as well. Brilliant.
Any days that you both can remember that were just like the closest to not doing the 10,000, either via like an error or through I ain't doing it anymore, or like when was the closest day?
Oh, Brian, I'll let you tell this story.
So is this the night that is this the text to your mum night?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't remember when it was. It wasn't actually that long ago.
It was on a Wednesday, probably like 3 or 4 weeks ago. It wasn't that long ago.
So we are able to follow each other's steps on our iPhone. So we know throughout the day and the evening where we're at, and if we need a call or a kick, we can kind of manage that. And on this particular evening, Vicky was at she was under 2,000 steps, and it must have been 8:30, 9. It was quite into the evening. So I started to panic a bit. Just my normal text message, no response, called, answer phone, texted again. This went on a little bit, still no movement on steps, still quite concerned, called again, answer phone. So at that point, and I'd never done it before, I started to type a text to Vicky's mum, just saying, Jan, I need some help. This is getting serious.
As if you were going to tattle to her mum.
I was. I absolutely was.
Bless Jenny P.
Can I just say, so
I hovered.
I was just going to say, so I was out walking when Brian was trying to ring me, but I was on the phone to my friend, and I think I turned my Bluetooth off for some reason for that day when I was at work, which is why the steps weren't updating for Brian. So I was out walking, but so it was clocking it on my watch, but it wasn't going through to my phone, so Brian couldn't see it.
Yeah, and my finger hovered over that. I never sent it, but I went through minutes of, do I send it? Don't I send it? Is she okay? Is something wrong? And then I called her again, and she answered. And I think you just got back to the flat.
Yeah, I think you got hold of me, and I was literally walking through the flat door, and it was the night that it tipped it down, so I got absolutely soaked as well.
Correct.
You were like, "You okay? What's going on?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've just got back. That's it. I've just done 10,000 steps. Don't worry." And that's when he said, "I've been trying to ring you. I've tried." And then I looked at my phone and I had all these messages and missed calls. Sorry.
Well, that was the closest. Although you had a night where you were very close to 10,000.
Yeah. So I did make a note of the highest and lowest days. So I held the record for the lowest. So it was day 85. So we were in lockdown. And I did 10,007.
Oh, wow.
I think I was literally walking up and down the corridor in my flat. And then as soon as I hit 10,000, the The extra steps were me walking to bed, I think, and then just putting to bed. And then your dad had the highest with 16,703 on day 110.
Nice.
Yeah. And actually, I owe you a vote of thanks, Brian. I think you'll remember this day. So the day after my surgery, because I did it on the day of the surgery. Actually, I did it past midnight, the night before.
Yeah.
So that when I got to the hospital, I was almost over the line. But coming out of hospital and then having to walk that day was pretty tough. And you came round and walked it with me. So thank you.
That's all right. I was only a charge of £50, so it's not a problem at all.
Oh, lovely.
So what about then? I guess we can't not talk, just because your messages are going a bit crazy,
Just
about
quickly,
your.
I can't see any messages. Is there anything that you want to share, or
Yeah, I was just about to
keep
say.
going?
What about you guys put up a daily post and you put up little comments and things like that, and people often message and put things on there. I mean, on here so far you've got Margaret Binder, Trina Phelan, Sue Prashodny, Paul James, Robert Brown, Laura Roche, Lisa Bartlett, Paula Harris, Lauren Pine, Jean, Vicky Frampton, Leanne Hick, Danny Paul, Mark Brown, Lorna, Janny P is in the house. And that, I think that's just a snapshot of who's about tonight. I mean, I joke about the fact that I got copied in on those posts every day, but every time I looked, there was, good, 10, 30 messages, gifts.
Hi, Leanne.
Is there anyone specifically that kind of helped along, or is there anyone that you feel that is worth a shout out for helping you along?
I think we agree we have to mention our gift queen, Paula. I tracked back and she sent a gift on the 1st of January, the very first day. And I didn't check every day, but I don't believe she missed one.
I don't think she did. I think
on point
every day.
Yeah, read the message, picked something of value or funny or silly. So I think we actually gave her a little queen image and a crown today or yesterday, I can't remember now.
Yeah.
She was cracking. But listen, everybody who liked, loved, gift, that's just complete motivation.
Does it really help?
The more that you get, the more you keep going.
Yeah. I think it's because as well, it makes you like accountable to somebody.
Yeah.
So like, especially, I think there was like one week when you were still working in London, Brian, and you didn't manage to get a post, and people were messaging you asking where they were, and I had like people like asking me like, "Oh, I've tried to find your post, but it's not there yet." So it's almost as though you want to show them that you've done it, and then people liking and commenting definitely makes you then get up and do it the next day.
Yeah.
I think
certainly when I was working, maybe the posts were getting later at night, and that, without a doubt, the earlier you post, the more interaction that you get from your friends and family and relatives. But if I was in London, it was 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, so it was getting later. And actually, we switched. At one point, you took over the weekends, didn't you? Just to try and kind of share the load. But yeah, amazing support, amazing.
And support, I guess we have to mention it because we've joked about it a couple of times already. Around the world, where is this support coming from?
America and Ireland, as far as I'm aware. I mean, obviously, there's probably people in all sorts of countries, but definitely all my Irish cousins, family, incredible support, and family in America, and Maxine in America, a lady that I worked with in a previous company, constantly. Actually, she called today, or she called yesterday. The last 48 hours have been a bit of a blur, really. It's been a bit bit weird, but. And she sent some cards, didn't she, Vicky?
Yeah, I got a card off her. So obviously I've never met her. She sent me a card a few months ago, just saying like you're a motivation, and just wrote a really nice message inside. So I thought that was really sweet.
And I've just been nudged to say, let's not forget about the Welsh.
Oh, the Welsh. Are they part of the world?
I don't know. Not really.
I think as well, I just want to say like to everyone like at work who used to ask me how many steps I was on that day, or what day we were on, or who kind of factored my walking into weekend plans. So they would, you know, make a plan an hour later so I had time to walk there rather than drive. Or people that came for walks with me. So Leanne used to do quite a lot of walks with me when we were able to, and you know, people used to come walking on their lunch with me, and you know, just sometimes having walking with a person makes such a difference. And all that, I know Brian said the same, but when lockdown happened, to all the people that spoke to us over the phone for an hour or however long it took us to get round, made a massive difference, rather than just having to walk listening to the same playlist and to the same songs every day. It was so nice to ring different people and speak to people.
Yeah, and closer to home for me as well. Obviously, without Lorna and Jackie, I couldn't have done it. Sue, my squirrel coach, couldn't have done it. So you end up being surrounded by people who just want you to succeed.
Yeah,
absolutely want.
Yeah, that's the other person that I wanted to do a shout out to, was my housemate Kirsty. She has waited every night for me to finish before we have dinner. So she'll never ever like cook dinner and then or eat hers without me. She'll always wait till we're done and then we'll cook together. When I was walking like to and from work, if I ever needed the toilet, she'd come and pick me up halfway. So yeah, massive thank you.
And Dad, Lorna just wanted to remind you that she went for a couple of walks as well.
She did, definitely. She absolutely did, yeah. Actually, she's been out, but I think both Jackie and Lorna in the car, if I've been out and I don't know, I haven't got a top on or I'm missing something and they come out.
Whoa.
Well, I might have a t-shirt, but I might not have a jacket.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Or a high vis at night. Maybe I forgot.
There is no walking around bare-chested.
It wouldn't matter in Sawtry because nobody sees me.
Yeah.
Everybody's asleep when I go out.
Oh well, look, it's been
I've got my t-shirt on, by the way.
143 days. That's 143 more days than I thought you'd ever get to. And I guess it's worth me, from my point of view, closing out to say that I genuinely didn't think you'd get there initially. I thought it to be a pretty safe bet. I think after about 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I think my mind changed already at that point because I could see it in you that you were more determined than ever. I thought there may be a slip up at some point, but hey ho, it's the best £100 I've ever spent, and I'm happy for that. You both got out, did some walking, got some exercise. That you two have kind of connected, like two of my favourite people. So, like the fact that you guys are closer as well is pretty cool. So I never like losing money, but if I have to give it to you guys, then I'm happy to. And I think you guys really deserve it. I guess the only thing for me to say really is if you want to maybe double or quits it, maybe. Do you want to go for another 143 and maybe let's make another deal, maybe? Or is that too cheeky? You just run.
It all went very quiet then, didn't it?
I'll do another 143 days.
Sorry?
I'll do another 143 days.
There seems to be some interference on this video now.
Yeah.
Well, let's close out one deal first then. So, Vicky, you and I have agreed. Actually, it was about doing it and about proving him wrong. It wasn't about taking money off of him. So we don't want to take the money, Brian. What we'd like to do is ask you to nominate a local charity that we could donate it to.
Okay. And the Brian Scully Junior Fund isn't a thing that.
No.
Okay.
I mean, if we're going to do that, we can put it to the Vicky Pine Mortgage Fund. I need all the help I can get down here.
No, that's wicked. Yeah, no, look, I think I definitely think there is someone we can, and I think there's a couple charities close to my heart, to be honest. If it's me that you want me to pick, I think there's a couple that I've done a lot with before. So like I do a lot with Sue Ryder through work. It's quite local to Peterborough. We've got a hospice here that they look after people at end of life stuff, unfortunately. I like to do a lot for mental health as well, charities. So I think I probably need to give it some thought, but I'll maybe see if we can find something local. I don't know what you guys think, but I don't know. I think it'd be nice to see where this kind of money goes to, rather than giving it to maybe like a big name.
Yeah.
So I think let me have a think, but let's agree on that and put that money towards it. And again, I don't know if I think there's been a lot of people who have been watching this. I don't know if it's cheeky too, but if once we agree on where it goes, maybe we'll put a link in there or something. And if the people who've been watching this and been watching your journey, maybe want to contribute to that as well, because they've had a bit of a laugh or they've enjoyed seeing what you've done, then maybe they could do that. And are you guys thinking of continuing then? Like I joked that a second ago, but what's the deal? Are you thinking you're going to carry on?
Just quickly, Lauren's asked, can we donate? So I'm assuming we'll just post the link when we know which charity we're going to put it to. And then also, Maxine says she's going to match the £100.
Oh, wicked.
So, thank you.
Or is that £100 or $100? Like, is that because her transfer rates, I don't know what they were like at the moment with Trump over there. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow, that's incredible, Maxine. Thank you. Sue's just posted, set up a Just Giving page and we can help.
Well, let's do that then. I will find, like I said, there's a couple that I've got close to my heart. And if you're happy for me to pick one, I'll pick one. And we'll go with that. We'll put a link out. Maybe we can see if anyone else wants to contribute to that. That'd be lovely. Obviously, Maxine and some others have said that they would. That'd be fantastic. And maybe it's something that if you guys are going to be doing it more in the future, we'll keep it there and see if people want to contribute as you go forward.
Okay, so let's talk about moving forward then. So Vic, we talked about this a number of times, and depending on what day we've said we would, and some days we've said we wouldn't. Where are you at right now?
Well, I've done 8,500 today, so I've only got 1,500 to do. So we're definitely carrying on.
You've been doing it?
Huh?
Been doing it today?
Yeah.
Oh, both of you. You just can't get out of it, can you?
I'm done. I'm already done.
So.
Just got to rub it in.
Yeah. So I definitely want to walk until we can at least walk together. Minimum.
Okay.
Whenever that will, I mean, whether that's going to be in 4 years' time, I don't know.
4 years?
Well, who knows how long lockdown's going to go on for? Who knows? So yeah, I definitely want to carry on until we can walk together. But obviously, Brian, you've also just mentioned a double or quit, so I'm a little bit intrigued. Is that we have to go for another 143 days and then we get £200 towards charity?
Yeah. I think that's a good number. If you go another 143 days, I'll put another £100 toward the charity that we've got set up.
That's a lot of days. That's a lot of days, Vic. Are we
Does
sure?
Can anyone work out quickly what date that takes us to?
How'd you do that?
Dunno.
Someone in our chat, surely you can work it out for us.
It's got to be 5 months, hasn't it? It's got to be 5 months. Maxine has just proposed that we should do it until I'm 60.
God, we can't go back in time.
So that, steady. So that's June.
October.
Oh, there you go.
Lorna's just worked it out.
Listen, I'm up for it.
Yeah.
It seems a long way away, but then
May seemed a long way
after
away. didn't it?
January, today was a long way away. Yeah, I mean, if you're serious, Brian, we'll take your money.
Yeah. All right, cool, deal.
Okay.
We'll say that then. So we'll work out exactly what that date that is, but in theory, it's another 143 days. And that'll be another £100 contribution. And actually, now I'm thinking about it, now it's charity related. Why don't we get together and think of things that we can be doing between now and the end of the 143 to just put something different to it? So maybe if there's a day where you do 20,000 each, I might put an extra 20 quid in. If you both do it fancy dress.
Okay.
So, and I think we can start to get creative. Now that I know it's not going into your pockets, I think we can get through this 143 easy.
Yeah.
I think the Zoom's just about to fail, I'm afraid. We need to go now. Bye.
Yeah.
Well, maybe people can suggest what we should do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Poor Sue is insisting that I rest 1 day a week.
Nah.
I have tried to explain. She doesn't get this really. If I stopped walking tomorrow, Monday would be what day?
Number one.
Day 1. She doesn't get it. Bless her. I think it's an age thing.
Yeah. Can't wait till she sees you. Well, look. So we're rounding off to say then, we're going to set up. We're going to find a charity that we all three of us. I think it'd be nice for me to. I'll present something, but I want you two to feel comfortable it's the right one. We'll get a page set up so that everyone can see it. I'll put the first £100 in there, and if anyone else wants to contribute, wicked. But maybe we can keep that going throughout this whole time and start adding more to it along the way.
Yeah, for sure.
And let's go for another 143, where the deal is at the moment, if you break that, that'll be another £100 towards the charity.
Mhm.
But we'll put it out to all your followers to say, is there anything else that they would want to see from you guys, to then maybe put a little bit more money in the pot for the charity? Because it would be really nice at the end of all of this that we actually make a difference to someone else somewhere else who needs it. So something that started out as a bit of a bet between friends and family, turning into something that's for a local charity, I think is pretty amazing.
I agree. And obviously everybody's got access to our daily posts. I think we've talked about kind of tweaking it a little bit so that now it's kind of plus days rather than counting down. So it can be plus up to 143. Everyone has access to it. Anyone that's got ideas, no matter how crazy, feed them in. And yeah, if it means we've got to do something silly on one day, then we may just do it. Let's see. Is that all right, Vic?
Yeah. Within reason, we'll have to talk about it. I'm not signing up to do anything.
Fancy dress was a bit scary, but
it just depends what fancy dress it is.
Depends what we're wearing. Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, is there anything else you guys wanted to go over? I think we've covered it. I think we know what we're doing. I think you know what you're doing, should I say? I mean, there's still 20 people here listening, watching, still following us to the end, chatting away about this.
Amazing.
So I guess the last thanks goes to all of them, because it's them that have got you guys through that every day.
Exactly right. Massive thank you. We could not have done this without them.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Guys,
just one more thing, actually.
Yeah.
I have done a steps tracker, so I actually know how many steps we've walked this 143 days.
Total?
Yeah.
Nah, go on in.
So, your dad did 1,615,650.
Wow.
And I did 1,622,022.
Fantastic. Amazing.
So when I put this, I think I did this like halfway through, and I was 100,000 steps more than your dad, more than Brian. And in lockdown, he has beaten me every single day and has literally come within about 8,000 steps.
Wow.
Amazing. Well, look, guys, honestly, proud of both of you. It's been amazing. Well done. Here's to the next 143 days then.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Well done.
Thanks.
Cheers, everyone.
Peace out.
Hey, down.
Down.